The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. It's time to start getting to these mayoral candidates with the primary election February 28th, so just 6 weeks away, so 7 weeks away. Willie Wilson is a candidate for mayor again this cycle. He ran in 2019.
And he had your support pick then, remember?
He's a successful businessman. Yes, I remember who I support. I was the inaugural charter member of Whitey's for Willie back in 2019.
Yep.
And we've had running conversations on a number of topics over the years, even when he wasn't a candidate. Willie Wilson joins us again to discuss his candidacy in this cycle. Willie, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Dan and Amy. How y'all doing?
By the way, the website, electwilliewilson.com, electwilliewilson.com for more info on his candidacy. So you got an interesting endorsement the other day, as Paul Vallis got one yesterday. So Paul Vallis gets the FOP endorsement. You get the endorsement of Alderman Ray Lopez, who is really made a name for himself in the city and was a brief candidate for mayor. Made a name for himself as somebody who's been pro-police and gotten to rhetorical fights with Lori Lightfoot about being pro-police. So the importance of the Ray Lopez endorsement and how that should be understood, particularly with Paul Vallis getting the FOP's endorsement when the issue is law and order.
Well, I believe it's just showing that we're trying to, as a candidate, to bring more people together, a coalition of black and brown, white, Asian American, and different people around the city of Chicago. And I think we've done a good job of doing that so far. I've always been pro-police. We have to back and support our police officers. But with Lopez endorsement, we also got about 200 and maybe 300 some Latino ministers that endorse us as well as the Polish Congress of the state of Illinois endorse us, and then the Italian Police Association endorse us as well. So we've been really working on a coalition to bring everybody together, not just one segment of the population of different nationality.
Why do you want to run again? I mean, it didn't work the first time, and right now polls have you showing anywhere between third or fourth place.
Well, first of all, the polls that came out been not the one that is right. But the reason why I want to, let's say, run again, I mean, like, nothing wrong with running and maybe losing one or two. Abraham Lincoln, as you know, ran 21 times before he became president of the United States. I think when you give up, that's when you lose. But when you keep going, you never lose. And then so I believe we put here to do good. And if we stop, that means good stop. Those who have a hard right try to do good. And so I would never stop. I mean, I'm like 74 now. If I get to be 100 years old, then I'll still be running for something, trying to help people without trying to help myself.
The CPS Inspector General report that came out at the end of last week detailing hundreds of incidents of improper conduct between teachers and staff and students, detailing what could be massive financial fraud with schools recording students that transferred or left the school as just truants to keep their attendance up, to keep the state dollars flowing. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I've always said that the Chicago problem is a mismanagement in terms of budget, corrupt, and things of that nature as well. Once I become mayor, I will have an audit done every 3 to 4 months, independent of every department that is under the mayor office. to keep people honest. If you leave things wide open, that encourages people to do wrong.
Yeah,
but if they know you.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but this Inspector General report is going back a few years, and these findings in this OIG report are not inconsistent with previous findings and previous reporting on arguably a culture of sexual exploitation of children in the system, as well as a lack of financial accountability, even when previous reports have found the lack of safeguards and policies and procedures and the implementation of corrective actions. So it seems to me there's something much more fundamental than another layer of auditing at CPS. We need something big at CPS, and I want to know what you think that is.
I'd be quite honest with Chicago. Got so many problems. All right, I think that the lack of communication is situation, lack of coming together, talking and working things out together, because one person, regardless of what department it is, cannot fix it by itself. We in business real well, and we have all different types of problems in business, national, international, you name it. And we get in, we work together with our partners, and we work it out. And I think the same thing has to occur here. Unless you're able to start working together and put checks and balances in place, these things will always exist. It is not just the first time or the second time. There are going to be plenty more that is out here coming. And I just think that the failure of lack of communication and not working together, not having people that are different community involved, to catch all these problems, I would put checks and balances in place.
But here's the thing. Okay, that's fine, checks and balances. I mean, would you expect a school superintendent that you appointed, if it was found that there were hundreds of instances of improper conduct between adults and by adults on students, including of a sexual nature? Do we need a community to come together? Do we need groups and checks and balances? Or do we need leadership at the leadership level to say, I am stunned by what has been reported by the Inspector General. I am in communication now with Cook County State's Attorney's Office. I am talking to the teachers union. We are going to remove people from this system who pose a threat to children, and we're going to put monitors in. We're going to have police. We're going to do whatever it takes to ensure that the environments are safe and parents can have confidence that these school environments are safe. But we're not getting that.
Yeah. No, I will hold them accountable, and I think they should be arrested, be honest with you. But when I say come together, lack of communication, meaning that there are people working in department that would love to talk and tell what's going on in those departments and things of that nature, to some of the leadership as well. But if you close them off, then they don't have any incentive to do this. But no, I would certainly, those people should be investigated and prosecuted by the rules of the law and then taken care of. I mean, when you're going to take then prey on some student and things of that nature, it's lunatic. They are pure lunatic. I mean, to have that to happen, it's still a lack of follow up and checks and balances and things in place to catch some of these things, because somebody else had to know about it.
Right, but would you have the superintendent come forward like, this is a report, and we talk about it publicly, and this is how we're going to solve the problem? Because no one's even returning phone calls when we're asking this superintendent for a response to this OIG report.
I would not. I would have the people removed. I would definitely, as superintendent, I would have them removed.
So these people in charge now, like Pedro Martinez, Willie Wilson is the next mayor of Chicago. He's gone, and that leadership team, and this is going to be a fight front and center for all to see, with whoever stands in your way to reforming that system. Is that fair? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
So
right.
Pedro Martinez is gone for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And a lot more people who are underneath, because he's not the only person that knows about it. There's a lot of layers in that. that do know about it. And unless you got communication, it's just like business. Like I have people employed over in China and Australia and things of that nature, but we communicate very thoroughly. Somebody out of those people that work for me and in the United States knows about what's going on, but if we didn't communicate, we wouldn't catch it. So I would definitely have them arrested and put out of there, and we'll put checks and balances in place to make sure nothing like that happen at all. And I do remember back a while back when that was coming on, it's just like swept under the rug. But that got to do with corruption and people trying to cover one another butts,
Yeah.
All right. So how would you tackle crime in Chicago? Because since 2023 began, we've had 6 carjackings a day.
Well, taking the handcuff off the police off and put them on the trucks, number one. Giving them the freedom to, with common sense, to take them. If someone takes and rob somebody right in front of you and police officer there, you have the right to chase them down or to chase them in the cars and things of that nature as well. Take some of these policies, the rules and regulations off the police officer with common sense to make sure that they're not afraid that if they arrest somebody that they're going to jail themselves. We have to break that up because see, it ain't about black and white. Crime has no color. It's happened to everybody, And we were ordinary. I still believe in the scenario I had last time. I still believe that those 4 police and superintendents still would go into effect and split the Chicago in 4 different ways and hold them accountable to that, integrating the cars and things of that nature. But I think the biggest problem is, though, police officer is afraid if they do something that they get arrested themselves. Not enough common sense in play here. And there has to be respect to those, our men and women who go out every day and protect us.
So police
we got to treat them right.
So police, including whoever you would select as superintendent, would know that they have the mayor's backing, that they could be confident that the mayor is not looking for opportunities to backstab them or to jackpot police officers. Obviously, you're not going to defend anybody that did something wrong. Nobody's saying that, but
right.
you would have civilian leadership backing the police if you were mayor. That's the point.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. We're going to back the police officer. You got good and bad and everything, but the same token is that you don't need police officer turning their back against you.
What about? I mean, there's the argument that we're 2,000, maybe more now, 2,000 police officers down from where we need to be. Would there be an effort by you as mayor to make up for that manpower shortage, if you perceive it that way?
I think we had to do. We would have to bring back the people that retired, hire more police officers, put some training course and things like that in place, and hire people, get police they off days. And I frankly tell you this much: I just think our first responder, like police officers, need to be paid more. I just really do. I think they're underpaid. These are people who protect our lives. I think there may be about 12,000, I guess, or whatever. The number goes up and down, but should be about 14,000, I believe. We'll bring those back, and after retired police officers come in and give us a hand as well, and we'll get the morale up. That people gonna want to be proud to wear the uniform again of the police officer.
And what are you going to do?
Give them respect.
Yeah. What about the homeless situation? I mean, we now have tents popping up near Michigan Avenue on Chestnut. I mean, it's everywhere. We're becoming slowly, but surely we're becoming the next LA or San Francisco.
I've always said this too about the homeless situation. I don't know. I heard a number that said there was about 25,000 homeless people, and I go out. I took about, I don't know, last year or so. $500,000 went out and gave to people that was out there and are homeless, and a lot of them, wasn't out there because they just wanted to be out there. But I still say this here, that we got a lot of vacant apartment and buildings that is here. Why can't we go in and clean them buildings up and let the homeless people live in there? We got a lot of vacant schools. Why can't we go in there and clean those schools up and refit them, things of that nature, and let them stay in there? You know, why can't we find the dollars and do management the right way to give these people a place to stay? One lady told me up on Ashland, the tent, they've been staying out there for 4.5 years, her and her husband. So that particular day I went by, and I think I gave $350 to her and $350 to him. And she said, you know what? She said, now I finally can get a place to stay and take a shower after 4.5 years. My husband, I can get a 1-bedroom apartment because you came along. And in 4.5 years, we've been staying out here.
So,
yeah.
every. I'm sorry. You want to go ahead? Finish, Willie.
No. I was saying so. There's no need to have homeless people out here. They have a place to stay, and everybody out there. Here again, you have school teachers and lawyers out there. They're living out there. That used to be successful. You got people who COVID-19 came. And they may be struggling with bills and things of that nature, but when COVID-19 came, they end up out there. Who got skills, you know? And so we got to do something about that, you know?
Every candidate has like a big question, like here's your vulnerability or here's your challenge. And it seems to me your challenge is there are people who don't think Willie Wilson can do this job. Like you're not up to the job. I think it has a lot to do with, frankly, how you talk, and I think a lot of people know your story. Maybe not everybody does, but I wonder what you think about that and how you would address that. Because you've made more money in business than every candidate in the field combined by a factor of probably 10. So you have managed to be wildly successful in the business world in this country, and that's something. That's a real thing. And I'm not trying to be your PR agent here. I just think that's a real thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think you get credit for it. And I think you have trouble translating that success into the sort of standing that other very successful business people get or have when they run for office, and like being a successful business person is a big credential. It doesn't seem to me like you get credit for having that credential, and I wonder if you are thinking about ways to better leverage that to advance your candidacy.
No, let me just say this. I'm not running for a paycheck. I'm not even take a paycheck. Give it away, all right? I've helped thousands of people every day of my life and continue to do so. If I wanted to, Dan, to go to the best school in the world, hire the best people in the world in terms of language-wise, I could probably hire 1,000 teachers to do that, all right? But because of the world, there's so many people out here that don't have hope, that can't get to school or cannot make it through. I'm the person that helps set the example and say that, look, you can be successful if for whatever reason you haven't been to school, whatever reason you had to drop out, for whatever reason that you not can talk right. It doesn't matter, because like 98% or 95% of the world, people, haven't been able to get a high school education or a college education, some of that nature there. I put people first, and for those people who say that, and I always remind them of this here, and I say, look, I signed the front of my check, and they signed the back of theirs. Mm-hmm. So, and the very people I tell that, one lady came there and said the same thing to me, and when she said that, the next 5 or 6 months or 3 months, she had to come to me and ask me for some money. I think I gave her like $10,000. Her business was in bad shape. She had to come to me and ask me for money, and I gave it to her. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of the way I talk. I don't want to change nothing else but try to help more people. That's all. And for those people who's out here, can't make it, let me represent the disadvantaged people, the middle class, the people who don't have anything, and let me represent them and help them and say, hey, look, don't be ashamed of who you are, how you talk, who you be around, or what you wear, because you can make it.
All right. I mean, I'm not your political consultant at large either, but I think that last-minute riff is a campaign commercial. There's a campaign commercial in there somewhere. I know that. Willie Wilson, electwilliewilson.com is the website. Willie, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you. Talk to you.
Thank you. God bless. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 7:37, time for our Tuesday talk with Ted Dabrowski, all things Illinois policy related. Much to discuss, 7:37.
Oh, yeah. But now let's get straight to it. Here is Mike Scott.
36 degrees at 7:30 on AM 560 The Answer. The Justice Department reportedly reviewing classified documents from President Joe Biden's time as vice president, found at a Biden think tank from years ago. Congressman Ralph Norman is criticizing the Department of Justice for not taking action.
You cannot just overlook this as the mainstream media has done with the Bidens. And that's what's so great about what's going on now with